anyway, let's get started. Okay, the paper I'm using tonight is Lovely Lipstick. And like I said, I took a half a sheet of, you know, cardstock, 8.5 by 11, cut it down the middle at 4 1/4. And then you fold it in half or score it at 5 1/2 to create your card. I always like to use a bone folder to really get that crease in there. Then we're going to use another piece of Lovely Lipstick. This is the piece we're going to emboss. And we're going to use a piece of the Designer Series paper, and we'll put that down on the card front first. It is 5 1/4 by 2. And I'm just going to add a little liquid glue. It's kind of been my favorite glue of choice, this multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm just going to line it up. Like that. And then we're going to take this piece of Lovely Lipstick cardstock. It's 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. And that's what we're going to emboss with the basket weave embossing folder. And to get a really good impression, it's kind of fun to mist your cardstock with a Stampin' Spritzer, and I get it pretty wet. This cardstock's pretty hefty, so I might have demonstrated this before. I'm not sure, but if you missed it, this helps your paper to really get a deep impression. That is my Tim Holtz Vagabond. It kind of grinds. Okay, I hope you can see it on the camera. I'm not sure, but it really leaves a deep impression. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere a little strip of the glimmer paper. And I just cut a piece 1/4 inch wide by 5 1/4 inch long, the length of our basket weave paper. And since this is glimmer paper, I found it kind of difficult to get it to stick, especially because I've got these raised areas. So I'm going to I use liquid glue on this one, and of course once you glue it down to the card front, there's no problems. But I'm going to use sticky strip this time, right along the edge here. Just to make it go faster for y'all. And then I'm just gonna, I want about 1/8 inch to peek out from behind there. So I'm gonna just kind of eyeball that. You know, you want your glimmer paper, your foil papers to be kind of the jewelry on the outfit. You don't need a lot to make a big statement. Okay, that sticky strip did work so much better. Okay, now I'm going to put this on the card front with Stampin' Dimensionals. And if you were here for my Make It Monday, you heard me talk about these bones from the Stampin' Dimensional, whatever these are called. I just used the edges for things like this. And that way, everything on my sheet gets used. That's probably a little overkill, but I don't want it flying off. Now when I make this card, remember, I know a lot of you ladies know that you can use the same basically pattern for a card with different designer series paper and different stamp sets. You just use the basic framework or sketch. Some people call it a sketch. All right, I'm going to lay that on there, and that's kind of raised up. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's just kind of raised up off that floral. It's kind of a neat little look. Now we're going to do our stamping, and I have a piece of, I got something on there, Whisper White, which is 2.5 by 3. I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'm using this big thank you stamp. Sometimes when my stamps are big like this, I like to do this. You guys like to do this? Do it this way, just so I can make sure I got enough ink. Hey Loopy, how are ya? Okay. We're going to need that ink one more time before we're finished. Then I'm going to use the die set from the Stitch So Sweetly dies that I showed you earlier. All those fun impressions, but I'm going to use this one because it fits this one perfectly. And I'm going to just tape this. I'm using my magnetic platform, but I just like to be on the safe side. I mentioned before that Stampin' Up is working that we're all excited about, but they haven't been very forthcoming in the timing of it. I think it's a little ways off. So, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with, because the Stamparatus that they came up with, I love. So if they can come up with something that good, I would be thrilled. Okay, so this is raised up. So I'm going to just put a little glue on the part that's going to be adhered to the embossed part. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to stick, I should have done this before, but I'm going to stick a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals underneath here just to keep it a little stable. This paper, what did I call it? I want to call it Dress to Impress, but it's called something else. The stamp set's called Dress to Impress. It's called Best Dressed. It comes in 6x6 sheets. So you could make 3 of these cards out of one 6x6 sheet of the paper. So that's kind of nice. Now I'm going to add some little butterflies, and I've been doing this a lot in my classes, so a lot of you ladies who are out there, you've done this before and it's old news to you. But I'm going to take a Stampin' Blend marker, and I can do this because they're alcohol based and they dry very quickly. These are the lovely lipsticks, light and dark Stampin' Blend marker. I'm just going to use the light one. And I'm just going to color on the vellum. This is just a scrap of vellum. Then I'm going to punch 3 butterflies out of it, using the Butterfly Duet Punch that's in our annual catalog. and I'm just going to punch 3 of the little ones out. See, that's dry already, and it stays. It's not a Sharpie per se, but it stays like a Sharpie. All right. So I've got 3 of those. Then I'm going to use some mini glue dots. I'm going to kind of bend these to give them a little, look like they're flying, bend their leaves, and adhere them on my card front with the mini glue dots. Like they're just flying around the flowers. And then I'm going to do the step that I forgot on my sample. And you can kind of flop those wings up again, and the vellum is pretty pretty strong. And I'm going to add a rhinestone to the center of each of those little butterflies. We'll use up these large ones. We'll really make it bling. We could even color these rhinestones with our Stampin' Blend markers, and they would be the, I'll do that on the other card so you can see. Because they're alcohol based, you can color them with the Stampin' Blend markers and it'll stay. So I'll just take 3. Oh, I hope the camera picks this up because that worked out so good. That's the dark, lovely lipstick Stampin' Blend marker. So you can make your rhinestones any color, and you can make them to coordinate your project. Oh, I like them pink. I think I like them the pink better, or the lovely lipstick. So cute. Okay, and then the last thing I did was the inside of the card. And I took this sentiment from the baby butterfly stamp set, or the bitty butterfly. Oh, here we go. Little ladybug. I got butterflies on the brain. Thank you, Loopy. It's a fun card to send to your friend. It'd be cute Mother's Day card. Shower card, bridal shower, baby shower. Just change up your sentiment. I'm going to use my Stamparatus because it's a red rubber stamp and it's a sentiment, and I'm always getting nervous about getting those stamped evenly or straight, if that makes sense. If you don't know what a Stamparatus is, it's just it's a stamp placement tool and so much more. I love it. I use mine all the time. I'm just going to ink it up with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And there we go. So I have to tell you a funny story. I watched my little 4-year-old granddaughter today here at the house because she was sick and couldn't go to daycare. And her brother, who's 5, he's not in kindergarten, he goes to daycare too. pre-K or whatever it is. And he was very upset that she got to go to Grandma's and he didn't. And when I did pick him up from daycare, and he was still upset, and he was mad that I was taking him home and not bringing him to my house. So I said, well, what's so exciting about Grandma's house? I just thought he loved me and just wanted to be here and spend time with me. I said, what do you like to do at Grandma's? What is so fun? He said, I want to see the dogs. He could care less about me. He just wanted to see the dogs. So I told him next time that would ever happen, that I would just bring the dogs with me when I picked him up from daycare. We would take him to his house. Here I thought he just loved to be at my house. It's just the dogs. The dogs were the draw. Okay, girls, that's the card. Kind of simple and easy, but pretty. I think so. If you liked any of the products you saw in the video today, I'll have them listed tomorrow on my blog, and you can pick them up or just message me or direct message me, and we can help you with that. Also, if you like and share the video or our post here, that helps me a lot too, and I appreciate it more than you know. So we will talk to you soon, and you all have a great evening, and go Chiefs. Bye-bye.